Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring!
Hey guys, what's up? It's Paulo Gonzalez again, and welcome to another episode of Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring. And we really have a cool guest in today's episode. But before all of that, let's give a shout out to everyone who helped make this show possible. First of all, that intro is made by none other than legendary ring announcer Lenny Hart. And if you would want to have your own ringtone, shout out, or even just a greeting, all you have to do is visit lennyhart.com. Now, Lenny is a friend of ours, and she would want to share this message due to what is happening right now. I'm sure for all the people in the States, you are aware of what's happening to the USPS. So if you have the adults in the US bought a sheet of stamps around $11, it would raise about 1.5 billion for the USPS. So please save the USPS. Nothing beats having a physical letter or having your mailman. You got to support everything just the same way in the Philippines that we have to support our local businesses. Another thing about supporting local, Bad Boy PH, man. Bad Boy, thank you so much for always making our show cool. If you want to get some merch, just visit ph.badboy.com, and they have a lot of big names as ambassadors, and one of them, Mark Strigo, will be making his UFC debut this August 22. So let's all watch that and let's wish him well. Of course, big thanks to our kababayan Joey Angeles of Tiger Muay Thai. And guys, you could also get yourself some Tiger Muay Thai merch. All you have to do is visit tigermuaythai.com. And if you are in Thailand or you have plans to go to Thailand, all you have to do is check their sites because they have some deals, especially that everything is starting to reopen. And once everything is normal, we hope you could train there because that's a cool facilities. A lot of bees, like the one we have a previous guest and the one we have now cross trains there. But before anything else, let's give it up for our producer, Cholo Gonzalez. Cholo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Really excited for the show. I can't contain myself. I know it's a bit early than we're used to. Yeah, so I'm here to check your comments, suggestions, and if we like it, we're just gonna flash it so that Alex could see our messages. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys are all well, staying at home during this period. And yeah, I think I'm all good. Take it away.
All right, so let's not further the waiting. He is the UFC Featherweight Champion. He just came off that impressive war against Max Holloway and retained his title. Aside from that, he's a professional boxer, a rugby player, and right now he's also an author of a children's book. Man, this guy is doing everything. Let's give it up for Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for joining us on the show. We've wanted to have you for the longest time, and Joey has been such an angel to us for making this possible.
Yeah, no worries at all. Yeah, now Joey, she's a good chick. So I do a lot at Tiger Muay Thai, and she's always my go-to. She's always every time I need something done or I've got a question to ask, she's always the person I go to. So she's unreal.
She is very. Now, I've been checking your Instagram. You're going back to training. I've seen some of your posts. It's like you're getting a bigger celebrity status there than before. How does it feel now with all that attention?
Yeah, it's good, man. I guess I guess it's well deserved as well. So about time. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but it's finally all starting to come together. I mean, obviously, I wanted to get that belt. And all this comes with it. So it's going good. It's going really good. It feels good. It's about bloody time.
Definitely. It's about time. And speaking of, getting that well-deserved attention, I think I've seen earlier in your stories, your daughters want more of your time, man. Could you tell us about that IG story telling you not to train so that you could spend time with them?
Yeah. Well, that was today. So I've already had a couple of sessions this morning. So I was just, yeah, I was about to go train, and they come back from their training. They were at the gym where I train, and did their session. But before we left, we were playing some board games, and I said I'll play with them another time, and then they come home and just started. They were into me straight away. Don't go training, don't go training. I think the wife set me up with that one. I think she's like, oh, go tell dad he has to stay and play ball games with you. And yeah, it was only a couple of times, and then the waterworks come out, and yeah, it worked anyway. It worked.
Your wife is so good if she did make that happen. I also saw you had a cool dinner, so that's really nice.
Buffalo
Speaking
wings.
of like, yeah, like Joey always told us, you are a family man before everything else. How does it feel that you get to spend this quality time with them due to the situation right now?
Yeah, man. And look, again, it's just this is just the times that we're in. At least we can spend it with our family. Well, I can. You know what I mean? Obviously, while I was overseas fighting and the quarantine and all that type of stuff, I just wanted to get home to the family. You know what I mean? So now I am, and it's good. Again, this is I get to not only I win the belt, I defend it, and I've got this shiny belt, and that's all cool, but I get to bring that home to my family, which is why I do it. You know what I mean? So I love this. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this sport. I love everything about it. I love the belt. I love the big shiny gold belt. There's so much I love about this, but again, I do it all, and my main purpose is for the family. So to come home to the family, it means a lot.
Yeah, and again, man, like that belt looks good on you. But let's just go quickly regarding your preparation for the fight, because we had Martin Nguyen, the one featherweight champion. He said that during your training, he was cross training with you.
Yeah, he come in and helped us out with training as well, which obviously I was thankful for. I had like a lot of the best fighters in Australia around our weight come in and help me for camp, so it was pretty incredible. You know what I mean? Within a couple of days, we had to get exemptions, and there was a lot that had to happen for us to even be able to train here in Australia, to have the contact training. But we got that allowed. And then literally we told everyone, we told Martin Nguyen, we told all the boys, and within a couple of days they were all there. You know what I mean? So Martin come in and done a few sparring sessions and that with us as well. And it was good. Obviously Martin's he's a cool dude, really nice bloke, and he was happy to help, and I'm very thankful for it. So it was great to have him around.
Yeah, Martin is a cool fella. But yeah, speaking of your training, you didn't probably get the camp that you wanted due to the situation. How does it feel that you still have that W despite the limitations in training and all those things?
Yeah, man, man, this is a crazy sport we play. You can have the best camp and still sometimes not perform. Sometimes you might feel like you don't show up, but having a good camp is very important. So going into this fight, it was this was something that my team, we had to make sure this was worth it for us. Which obviously with the pay-per-views, Fight Island, the whole world would be watching. We did well. Obviously the pay-per-view buyers had done really well. So it was an opportunity we felt we couldn't miss, even though it was very short notice. I don't know how much notice Max had, but we only had the 6 weeks notice. But it was just, again, I guess it's all a part of it. We looked at the risks. Obviously, we knew Max was a tough matchup. We knew, with a camp that's not the greatest, I go, that's still going to be tough. But obviously, we're saying, he's in the same position. You know what I mean? This is an opportunity we can't miss. Let's just take it on. So that's sort of the boat we're in. And we made the decision to take it on. And yeah, man, it feels good to have that W. You know what I mean? So obviously, again, there was a risk taking this fight, especially where we feel, will we be prepared? I won't be able to do the normal training. I won't be able to go to city kickboxing or Tiger Muay Thai. I won't be able to do anything. I would have to try and get teammates to come to my gym. We didn't even know if that was going to be able to happen. But again, we did the best that we could do in that situation. And again, I was thankful for my team and the teammates. We got it done. And then to go out there and get the win, nice, close, tough fight. You know what I mean? Max brought it. He definitely brought it. He brought it them first 2 rounds especially. And I had to wake up a little bit. I didn't really feel like I turned up, to be quite honest. So it was a couple of rounds in. I'm like telling myself and my team's going, come on, we've got some work to do. Let's go. So, obviously after that second, that's when we turned it up a little bit more.
Yeah, that is a really good fight. And let's just read a quick question from one of the fans, Smithy. Max is taller than you when you saw the two fights that you were with him. How are you dealing with his reach? And was it hard to get in and execute your game plan during the fight?
Man, the reach is not a big problem for me because I guess I've just everyone's taller than me, so it's what I'm used to, yeah, what I'm comfortable with. But at the same time, I've always trained with bigger guys. I've always fought at heavier weights, so I'm constantly training my whole career, and even when I'm just my whole career, even in rugby league, everyone was bigger than me, So that's just what I'm used to. So even when I'm training now, I train with a lot of welterweights and lightweights and even middleweights sometimes. You know what I mean? So I train with plenty of guys, even taller than Max. So the reach was, and I do well against guys like that. Again, I have to use. I train with so many people like that, so it's something I'm very comfortable with. It's all I really know. It would be more of a problem for me. No, I wouldn't say a problem, but it would probably be more odd for me to fight someone smaller than me, to be quite honest. But
Oh,
it's just again, range is obviously a big part. But for some of my size, I can really use my range very well, and I can use guys that have good range sort of against them as well. So I sort of know what to do in them situations. But again, it wasn't the range that was a problem with this fight. Max done really well where he stood his ground. He actually wanted to stay. If I come forward, he was just going to stand there and let me run into the right hand or the right knee. And so he actually changed his game so much for that second fight, which credit to him. We weren't sure if he was going to do that. We thought there's no way he's going to change his whole game that he's been doing for so many years, something that he's so good at. There's no way he's going to change up all these things. It'll be hard, and will he really do that? But he did, and it was working very well for him in the first two rounds. So yeah, again, that's why I had to make an adjustment. So I had to do the same thing. He done well to adjust in between camps. I done well to adjust in the mid fight, which saved me because after them two rounds, all he needed was one more round. You know what I mean? So he had the third, the fourth, and the fifth. All he had to do is take them out, and he takes that belt home with him. And obviously that third round was close, but we were confident. And then the fourth and fifth were very confident. So going into the decision, we were quite confident, but you never know when it goes to the judges.
yeah. And regardless of that, man, you've been a gentleman. Like, Connor never gave Aldo his rematch, but you did. And that is admirable about you. And speaking of inspiring people, I mean, I've seen Dan Hooker saying that you inspired him to find the missing piece of the puzzle for him being a world champion. How does it feel that right now, even your aside from the fans, your teammates are also inspired on how you dig deep during that fight?
Yeah, man. Well, it means a lot. It's good. Like we get to, obviously, again, I'm doing something I love. I love this sport, but to be able to, inspire people, motivate them. You know what I mean? People coming back to me and saying things like even teammates, but not only teammates. On your social media, I get people that will inbox me. I try and communicate with as many people as I can. Obviously, it's hard, but and then to hear that feedback sometimes it means a lot. Again, like I need to. It's so much bigger than just me fighting. You know what I mean, for myself. You know what I mean, fighting for my legacy, and obviously, I want to build a legacy for myself. I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as one of the goats in the featherweight division. You know what I mean? I do want that, but at the same time, to be able to give back to people, it means a lot. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of times I'm trying to do that. Whichever way I can, and which brings me into what you're talking about before, my children's book and things like that. This is a good way of doing it as well. You know what I mean? It is my story, but it's about it's so much more than that. It's like just teaching values and morals that I want to teach my kids, that I want to push on the younger generation through my story. So it's cool, again, and just hearing feedback like what you're saying, what Dan Hooker says, supporters, it means a lot. It really does. And, again, this is why we do it. It's another big reason of why we do this.
Yeah, true. And that children's book is such an ingenious idea because there needs to be that bridge between, the kids and the MMA fighters. and you shown it, man. Could you like talk me through on how did this happen? Was it initially your idea, or did someone come to you and say, "Hey, you should make a children's book"?
Yeah, no, well, there was a local lady from where we are, Courtney. She come with the idea to me, and people always talk about what's your brand, and and things like that, and obviously you've got guys like whether the blueprint of the Conor McGregor blueprints, and the trash talking, and the bad boy image. That's a lot of people play that, and I don't hate on them. I've got nothing against them, but that's just not me. That's not who I am. As you said, anyone that knows me, I'm a pretty respectful guy. I'm a nice guy, and I'm pretty easy to get along with. But at the same time, I believe I want to be that inspirational type, and there's. So when she come to me with this idea, I was like, this is right up my alley. This suits my brand so well. And again, this is not only can I push my brand this way, but I can still give back to the younger generation and all this type of stuff. So it fits my brand. It just, when she come up and like, this is unreal. I love this idea. I've got 2 kids myself. I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I read books to them. So like, I was sitting there thinking, read my own book to my kids. How good's this going to be? You know what I mean? And so I knew what I know what I want to read to my kids, and we sort of put that in this book as well. So obviously I had a lot of help with it. I didn't write it all, but I had to just say what I wanted it to be about and all this type of stuff. And it was cool, man. It was really good. But, Courtney and Sam done a great job publishing the book. And, we got the hard copies now. It looks unreal. And we're starting to push it. We're going to start really pushing it now.
Yeah, definitely. That's an amazing book. Well, before I ask my next question, let me just read a comment from Joey Angeles. She said, just the champ with his family and sport, Emma Volkanovski and the kiddo. So I think she's showing some love to your family.
Yeah. Hello, Joey. How are you? I just gave you a shout before. I hope you heard that.
Yeah, he did. Now, going back to your book, how did your kids react to the book once you read it to them?
Oh yeah, I guess it's like obviously they loved it. It's cool, but I mean, they get to see obviously what's happening, like seeing me on TV, and even when they go back to school, like sometimes they got to do painting. Like obviously, they know that like they don't know exactly what I do, but they know that obviously, oh, Daddy's a world champion. Get what I mean. So they know that things are a little bit different. So, you think once they seen my face on a book, they'll be like, whoa, what, blowing out. But, they were like, oh, how cool is this? And just wanted to show it off to other people. But yeah, man, it's good. Obviously I've read it to them and they love it. But at the same time, like, it's just, yeah, it's weird. It's like I know they're sort of accustomed to seeing me on TV, seeing me on books and magazines and stuff like that. So, but it was still good to see their reaction.
Yeah, that is indeed true. Let me just read again from Smith. He heard that nothing changed about you except that you are super successful. Keep it up, champ. So he's showing that you are very humble. Now,
thank you.
Going back with the book, Alex. I mean, that's an ingenious idea. But could you think of this extending to just one book? Because there are a lot of values that your brand could be the face of, like. You could talk about going to school or defending the weak and all of that. Because this storybook is just the beginning of everything. It could be something bigger, like the new Dr. Seuss or Berenstain Bears.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, for sure. Like we want to bring this out, but it can go so much further than this. You know what I mean? Obviously, again, we want to help, but we want it to be successful as well. But there's so many other things, like whether it's you start getting into YouTube channel and you have your own figurines, your own little figurines, and you go down that, like if you build your own character, have your own little Alexander the Great character, and then you could use that sort of everywhere. And like you said, not only tell the story, but more than that, send messages. Values in life, as I'm saying, like you said, defend the weak. Like these are all things that, mate, that's right up my alley. And like that's a good idea what you said. But things that, which I'm all about. All these things, I'm all about that type of stuff. So, it can go much further than this, and I hope so, because again, it's something that I'm proud of. And you know what I mean. A lot of people are just looking. Oh yeah, I just want to make money. Want to make money, but you know, it's much bigger than that. I want to be able to give back to the younger generation and do what I can. And you know, I just think that things like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that is indeed true. And let me just read a quick comment from Mikuni Monsayak. Your striking against Holloway during the first fight was beautiful. Watching you fight the taller striker but still manage distance and land such clean, crisp strikes was inspirational. I have stole a couple of moves from you. Asked for the jab, the feints, and the kicks and the leg kick. So Mikuni is a local fighter here in the Philippines. So I guess you are inspiring him too.
That's unreal. That's unreal. Good stuff, mate. Keep it up. Keep it up. But yeah, man. Like again, with that, like going into that first fight with Max, we knew what he does really well. You know what I mean? So you know, obviously we had a good game plan. But again, you know, Max is sharp. You know, he's always on his toes. So I still had to, you know, there was still a lot in there. Like obviously in the heat of the moment, exchanges to not only land what you wanted to with the game plan, but then to still be able to win all the exchanges and stay on top. You know what I mean? In the heat of the moment, you know, it was it was good. It was quite a performance that we were proud of. But yeah, going into the second fight, we knew there would be changes. We weren't sure, but we knew there would be, and you know, again, made great changes, and yeah, exactly. We had to I had to completely change my game for that fight as well. So it's just weird because it's funny when people talk about my striking and things like that. It was mate, a couple of years ago when everyone thought I was just a grappler. You know, they thought I was a wrestler grappler, you know what I mean? They wouldn't think that I was a striker. And now people don't even know I wrestle and grapple. Like, you know what I mean? They think I'm just a striker now. So it's good. It just shows you how well-rounded I am. But the thing is, one key thing, if he's still listening, you know, there's obviously a lot of tools we can use and, you know, very good attacks and things like that. But it's how we put them together. You know what I mean? It's about how you use your tools and use them wisely and find the right times for the right tools. Keep them guessing and just let them fight your fight.
Well, there you go, Mikuni, who is a one championship fighter. Now, yeah, going on, man. Like a lot of people are calling your name right now. Like, do you have anyone on your radar on who to fight next?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a few guys. Well, that's what's good. You know, I'm loving this because when you're the champ, I mean, when you're not the champion, you're chasing. You know, you're just chasing the top, right? So you don't know who they're going to give me, who they're going to give me. I guess I'm still like that. Who are they going to give me? But at the same time, I don't need to call for it. I can look in, but I mean, at the same, as I've been saying, I'm an easy champ to understand. You get yourself to number one contender, you get that title shot. For me, that's all I want. I just want someone that deserves it, just like I did. I went out there and earned my title shot, and I just want the same for everyone. You know, we've got a ranking system for a reason. You know, again, like even with the rematch, a lot of people thought, you know, why give him the rematch? Again, there was no real number one contender, and Max was a great champion, and I thought he did. You know, maybe he does deserve that rematch, especially when there's no one else. So you know, that's just how I am. You know what I mean? If you deserve that number one spot, you're going to get it. You got guys like Zabit and Zombie. Obviously, I've got my eye on them too. I believe they're the front runners. But again, I just believe they're one fight away. You know, Ortega and Zombie are supposedly fighting. They go out there. Whoever wins that, you know, they've got a clear argument to say I'm next in line. You know, and same for Zabit. You know, obviously he was meant to fight Yair Rodriguez, and then Yair Rodriguez got injured. And then he thinks I'm going to replace Yair Rodriguez, as in the champ is a replacement fighter. But, you know, I had to tell him, like, mate, you know, I'm the champ. I ain't a replacement. I'm a nice guy, but I ain't going to be giving you that shit. You know what I mean? So it was, you know, again, I just believe hopefully he gets a fight. And then, again, whoever, if they fight and they get that win, you know what I mean? Like, I guarantee you, everyone's going to be screaming their name. Everyone's going to be screaming their name, and then I'm going to be screaming their name because I want the biggest fights, and the clear number one guys are the guys that you know, everyone's going to want to see. So that's who I want. I want whoever it is, whoever gets there first.
Yeah, definitely. And the cool thing about you is that, you know, the Max fight was great, but you still, I know what you want. You want to add legacy. You want to add names on that list the same way Izzy is doing it. And you are not choosing easy opponents. I mean, Zabit, Zombie are beasts as well. Like, and you are not like cherry picking your fighters, man. How do you see your legacy going after this, after you retire?
Yeah, well, again, that's I'm 10 right now, and I'm here to stay. So you know, I mean, I believe that legacy is going to be, you know, give me a fight or two. You know, I believe I'm going to be one of the really big names in our sport. You know what I mean? I believe, obviously, as you said, you know, obviously the name's rising and all. I'm the champ, so but at the same time, you know, I'm not where I want to be. But give me a couple of fights, and I guarantee I'm going to be there and some. And you know, everyone's going to be known, especially when you start taking out number one contenders one after another. You know, people are going to be throwing you in the GOAT conversation. I do want to be remembered as the greatest featherweight of all time. And you know, there's obviously I've took out pretty much everyone, but at the same time, you know, defenses is what it's all about. You had Aldo defending time after time, you know what I mean? And you know, I need to at least get a few defenses before my name takes someone like Aldo as a GOAT. But I believe I'm going to do that. So you know, again, you want to set yourself big. So if you could be the GOAT and really, you know, get right up there and be the best UFC or featherweight to ever do it, you know what I mean? Obviously, that really does set you up in the future. But then obviously, you still got work to do even after your fighting career, because we can't fight forever. But that's why, you know, you build your brand and do what you can. And, you know, you've got to be smart with everything right now.
Indeed. And going through that, man, like building your brand, another friend of yours who is building his brand right now is Pewter Yan. How does it feel that he is champion? I saw you guys fist bump on your way out during your fight. Could you talk us through that?
Yeah. Well, I've trained with Peter Yan a few times. So we knew each other well before we were both in UFC. And, you know, so we've trained with each other, mate, through the whole UFC career, but even well before. So I know Peter Yan well. I always knew he was going to be a big threat for that bantamweight division. You know what I mean? So once he was in, I'm like, keep an eye on this bloke. So I know him well. So yeah, man, we've got a good relationship. You know, obviously the language barrier is a little bit different, but again, like we always have a few words with each other, a good handshake, and again, every time we fought on 2 shows together now, so and we've both been successful both times. So it's good. He's a good kid, good fighter, and you know, he's a hard worker. So I like seeing people that are hard workers. I like seeing people that do what needs to be done to get to that champion. He'll fight anyone, you know what I mean? Just like me, how I was chasing that title, fight whoever was in front of me, give me the guys, and you know, just works hard, trains hard, and does what needs to be done to get to that belt. And you know, that's why I'm very happy for him. And it was good. We got a few photos after the fight as well, like both of our belts and all that with our teams, because I know their whole team as well. So it was good. It was a good feeling.
Yeah, that is a cool photo. And yeah, like you, Jan and Izzy are the types of champion who wants to build their names on legacy by beating the best of the best. Do you ever see a situation where Jan is holding the bantamweight, you're holding the featherweight, Izzy is holding the middleweight, and Dan Hooker is holding the lightweight, all at the same time?
Mate, yeah, there's even like there's more guys that I know, you know, even like Valentina's another one that we know very well.
Yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko from Tiger Muay Thai. So before she was in the UFC, like everyone were like, obviously she was in the UFC before me, but we were like, you know, once we knew she was in, we're like, again, watch this girl, she's just going to absolutely kick ass. And now she's pretty much untouchable. So, you know, we knew that. But I mean, it's unreal to see all these great fighters we always knew, and to know them well before they even were in the UFC, and then just watch us all just rise and just shoot through them ranks straight to the top. You know, it's unreal. It's good to see. But I plan on, man, I think we're going to see a lot more of them. You know what I mean? A lot more people I know, you know, people that I'm close with, that's in my teams. I think we're going to see a few champions from, you know, this side of the world, and, you know, Tiger Muay Thai or City Kickboxing, or, you know what I mean? Like all them gyms. Myself, I'm from Freestyle Fighter Gym. That's my actual home gym. That's where my head coach, that's where we train. But obviously, again, I go to Tiger Muay Thai and City Kickboxing, just a bunch of killers. And keep an eye, there's going to be a few coming up, 100%. So you've got guys like Dan Hooker, you've got guys like Brad Riddell, Kaikara, France. Like the list goes on, you know what I mean? Then you've got a bunch of killers aren't even the UFC yet that I guarantee are going to be big names once they're in there.
Yeah, guys, those are the names you got to watch out for. Now, speaking of Tiger Muay Thai, I've been asking this to everyone. What is in Tiger Muay Thai that when a fighter goes there, they turn to be such beasts? Like, could you give us an idea as a fighter on how the environment of training is like there compared to other gyms you've trained before?
Well, obviously the coaching's always going to have a big part. You know, they're obviously very skillful coaching, you know what I mean? So you always got to credit the coaches. And then you got just the amount of talent and, bodies and skills and, that go to Tiger Muay Thai especially. It's just unbelievable. You'll go to a wrestling class or a BJJ class and you'll have 50, 60 absolute killers. You know what I mean? You will not have one easy round there. You know what I mean? They're all going to be competitive rounds. And the beauty about that is you learn from people that you train with, not only coaches, even people you train with. You know, if someone, like for me, if someone submits me or if someone takes me down or does something cool to me, I want to know how sorry, I was about to swear. I want to know how he bloody did that. So I can understand it. And then I do understand. I could learn, oh, yeah, that worked well because he did this, this, this. You know what I mean? And, they've got little tricks and sometimes you just communicate with each other. And, and it's just, mate, when you're training with a bunch of killers like that, you're obviously you're always obviously going to level up. And then you've got the coaches, the coaching staff. And, mate, the facility there at Tiger Muay Thai is just incredible. To be quite honest, it's got absolutely everything there, every aspect of martial arts, and then you've got the camp where they do it all together. Then fitness and all that, strength conditioning, everything. It's unreal. So I spent a lot of my career at Tiger Muay Thai.
I also heard the smoothies and the food are amazing there.
Yes, the food. Yeah, man, it's good because every time they look after me every time we go there. So. I just train and I can eat straight afterwards, just go straight to the grill. And, some of the meals they got there is just pretty incredible. So it's unreal.
Yeah, definitely a fighter's paradise. Now let's go to the fan questions because we've been neglecting them. Here's from Bin Cuevas. How do you compare the Aussie New Zealand kickboxing scene to the Muay Thai kickboxing scene in Thailand? Because a lot of fighters now in the UFC, aside from the Russian Eastern Europe invasion in the UFC. Also, there's invasion of fighters from your area and fighters from training from Thailand in the UFC. So what's the difference between the New Zealand Australian Muay Thai to the Thailand Muay Thai?
Obviously, traditional Muay Thai, you go to Thailand and you're going to get the best traditional Muay Thai there is. Yeah, it's in Thailand. And but again, for with city kickboxing and things like that, obviously Muay Thai and kickboxing, K1 sort of style, whatever it is still a little bit different. The rules are different, so you got to remember that. But not only that, what I think with city kickboxing is just again they're very happy to adapt, say to with MMA or kickboxing. They're quite happy to adapt. So obviously the ranges are going to be different, and setups and this things like that, which is a big deal. But but then you go to Thailand, which is Muay Thai. They've been doing it for how long, and they've just absolutely perfected that martial art. That specific martial art, especially for that sport. But again, sometimes you can go learn so much from them and then use a lot of their tools, like the kicks, and knees, and the techniques of how to kick hard, and and things like that, knees, elbows, nice little tricks, and then being able to sort of transition that into your MMA game, which I believe that at City Kickboxing, with the kickboxing and that, they are always trying to transition it into MMA, especially for us fighters. So that's a big difference. But I mean, again, I always love going to Thailand and still doing Muay Thai sessions, because again, how long have I been kicking? And I can kick. I'm known for kicking in the UFC. I go over there, they're going to still correct me and say I kick like a little bitch, most probably. You know what I mean? Like it's just, again, because they've perfected their martial art. But again, we just use things a little bit different.
Oh, there you go, guys. So if you have a chance, visit Tiger Muay Thai. I saw a question from Ant Chola. Could you flash that one? Let's get the fans' question because I've seen the comments. They're blowing up. All right, let's just check it out. Yeah, there you go. If you were given a chance to have a super fight, would you go to lightweight to face Khabib or go down to face Peter Yan? So, what is the
It would,
answer for that
it
super
would
fight?
have to be Khabib, you know what I mean? Like that's a, I don't know if I can go to bantamweight. I've always said that I reckon I could, but after the last couple of weight cuts, even though I get there reasonably easy, I just look at the, the bantamweight. I'm like an extra 4 or 5 kilos would be a little bit difficult. So I don't think bantamweight's where I'd go. But I mean, lightweight, I obviously would, I still would be small. I'm reasonably small for featherweight, but when you look at size, anyway, height. But I mean, I'm actually pretty heavy set, so I'd probably still have to cut weight for lightweight as well. So, but I mean, Khabib again, that's a huge fight, and even though Khabib, I rate him so much as a fighter, obviously he's a great fighter, one of the best in the world. I still believe I could give him problems, you know what I mean? Especially because I'm very hard to hold down my small, my short legs. It's very easy for me to get back to my feet and little things like that. So I believe I could give him trouble. But again, you've got to respect Khabib because there's no one that can really do what he does, and the way he does it. The control he has is next level. But I'd love to test myself. I really would love to test myself and fight Khabib. That'd be a huge fight for me, and I think I can definitely give him problems.
Yeah, definitely. And you and Khabib would definitely be a big fight. And he's also a genuine human being. And going through that, I mean, as you could see, when people trash talk Khabib, he's having a hard time. How do you feel when some of the fighters on your division starts trash talking you? Does it get to you?
No, it wouldn't get to me. You're always gonna bite back. You're always gonna have a bit of fun with it. But again, like people are gonna do whatever they do, man. That's a part of the fight game. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the beauty of this sport is people can talk as much as you want. If that fight happens, you get to punch these people in the face. So that's the beauty of it. Let them talk. Let them
Indeed, true.
talk. But again, like it's going to happen. You're going to have words. Maybe sometimes they might say something, might get under your skin. I really don't take nothing to heart, but I will bite back. You know what I mean? I'm perfectly fine with defending myself, but I'm just not okay with me just targeting my opponent if he's been respectful and then just start saying things that are just inappropriate and taking things into it's just not me. It's just not me. But again, if someone bites at me, I'm going to bite back.
Yeah. And speaking of biting back, you were very funny because I saw this Instagram post where you were reading a book to a little Henry Cejudo. Like, look at that. That was funny. That's a funny way of answering back from a call out.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, it's good. Like again, like we've been going a bit back and forth here and there, but at the same time, I can promote my book while I can shit stir Cejudo as well. So it worked
Yeah.
well. It worked well.
That is very ingenious of you. But yeah, going on that, what are your thoughts regarding Henry Cejudo? He retired, then suddenly he's calling out every champion from the three
Yeah,
divisions that he won for.
mate. Like it's funny. Look again. As a fighter and competitor, and what he's done, like he did great things. And when he retired, I said, if this is legit, congratulations on a great career. And I mean that. I really do. But and then it was just funny to hear him say, look, man, you don't have to hear my ass no more. And like literally that's what he says. And mate, it's gotten so much worse. I can't believe how much he's just he's talking so much more than he was before. So it's just funny. He's retired and we're hearing his ass a lot more than we did before. So that was a blatant lie in his post-fight speech. But again, look, he can say what he wants. Obviously he's just, I think, sometimes we need to stay relevant. And when you're not fighting, you need to find other ways. So he's just doing what he has to do. I don't hate him for it. But again, if he's ever in the octagon across from me, the beauty of this sport, we can put hands on him.
Well, that is gonna be a great way to see a fight go on, and you have been very respectful despite a lot of people calling out on you. Now, Alex, you've been very generous with your time, but before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to get off your chest, like anywhere they could find you, and of course the book? We have to promote that book.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah, the book, give it a look. But I've got a website going now as well. That's live. So alexanderthegreatvolkanovski.com. Yeah, and anything you need to know about that, you know what I mean. It's just you all you need to do is go on that. And if you want to know anything upcoming, all the information will be on that. So that'll be the place to go. And Instagram, give us a follow on Instagram at alexvolkanovski. That's at alexvolkanovski. But hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was good, mate. It was a nice, good setup you've got going on here, mate. I'm pretty
Thank
impressed.
you. Thank you. We prepared this for you, man. And again, for the guys, the Filipinos who want to buy Alex's book, it's $20. So in our money, that's 1,000 pesos. All you have to do is visit alexanderthegreatthebook.com.au. And I'm shipping fee applies, but come on, guys, it's Alex Volkanovski. You have to get it. Again, Alex. One last question. Any plans of visiting the Philippines soon? We gotta answer that question, man.
Yeah, of course. Well, I've actually been to the Philippines. I went there because I fought on PXC. So, but I didn't fight in Philippines, unfortunately, not Manila. But I was in Manila to go to Guam. So I stayed there for like 12 hours. So I went there for a little bit. It wasn't too long, but it was really quick. So I had to go from the airport to the hotel and then back to the airport. But I mean, I'll be back. I'll tell you what, though, there's some traffic over there in Manila. That's for sure.
It is. The traffic is crazy, but that is something that we could look forward to once everything goes to normal. Alex says it. He's going to try go to Manila. Alex, thank you so much. This means so much to me and my brother. So thank you for being on the show.
No worries. Thanks for having me, guys. You've been great. I appreciate it.
All right, this is Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring. We'll bring the fighters closer to the fans and the fans closer to the fight. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Fight Sport Manila Verbal Sparring.